Hello everyone and welcome back to Sonic the Hedgehog before the sequel. I am OneWildSheep and today we're going to take care of this tower level where we're going to go on a very vertical climb upwards to reach the death egg. This, folks, is the last stretch and this is my favorite. This is what I consider to probably be the most epic part in terms of what we got to offer, because this part has a lot of orchestrated music, a lot of real end game sort of thing. We're at the final stretch, folks. But yeah, this level's main gimmick is its vertical climbing. You need to climb as vertically as possible, go up to the very top of this tower. You need to watch out as well, because there's a lot of for example, this thing back here is a little switch thing. You're meant to spin dash into here, which will disable a doorway. The doorway can be real menace, because I've played this stage before. I didn't know what to do. That hole I just fell down to get to the segment used to be covered by a red door, and you're meant to spin dash to actually get through the door. It's very awkward to really figure out, and it took me so long to get to do my first time through the game. So there's just that spin dash in the circular thing. But yeah, like I said, very vertical level. You got these boost panels on the side of buildings in this zone. Now, whenever you see those boost panels, you need to boost up to the top of buildings. So, see a boost panel on the side of the wall, jump into it, and zoom, you go up. And you need to combo them as much as you can. Now, those BaaaaAAAHHhh there will also hide in the floors. Whenever you see them hiding in the floors, be careful, because they can pop out at any one time and mess you up. They'll also shoot spike pellets at you. And watch out for these crushers too, because they're crushers. Crushers are no good. Basically, if you get caught by a crusher, you'll die straight away. No, instantaneously. It won't give you warning, won't give you anything, you'll just go. So, if you see a crusher, avoid it. Those little gear enemies as well, with the spikes rolling in, can be a bit annoying. Periodically, they'll switch to having spike mode on, or vulnerable mode as I call it. Spike mode is basically when they have spikes on them, and you'll get hurt if you try to jump on them. And vulnerable mode is when they're just there doing their own thing. But yeah, these are, like I said, make use of all these platforms, try and combo the boost panels and get up to the top of the tower. And overall, the stage is pretty interesting, actually. I like it. It's very fast-paced, very ongoing, calming, sort of awesome. The music it's also got this nice funky beat to it, you know, it's kind of like disco music. I love the music in this stage. But, this is a bit unique of a level because we have, like I said, the boost panels, and in this stage, this act of the stage, we have these new caterpillar BaaaaAAAHhhs. You can't kill them at all. They are impossible to kill, and they don't hurt you either. What they do, they act like a anti-gravity sort of BaaaaAAAHhhh. So if you jump into them, you basically lose gravity for a second, and you'll bounce upwards. And it's quite interesting how they work. But yeah, as you can see, the lights have been turned off in this stage. We need to... Basically, if you turn the lights off, they'll open the doorways. If you open the doorways, you'll be able to progress further and platform as much as you can. Now, I'm fumbling around a bit by here because when I played this, I couldn't see anything. It was so pitch black. And you guys can probably see things on this now because, fortunately, editing! Yay! But seriously, this segment is really black. The only indication I had of where platforms were was the lights that were underneath the actual platforms themselves. So you may want to turn your brightness up for this zone if you're playing this on your TV. But like I said, BaaaaAAAHhhh, same old. For these lifts by here, if you do a super peel out at the perfect time as well, you can get a massive boost of distance and kind of skip an entire segment of level. So be careful as well, because those little exhaust sort of platforms that you just saw me get hit by earlier, every now and then they'll switch from fire mode to off mode. When they're on, obviously you'll get burned, you don't want to. But interesting thing about this climb by here, if you're fast enough, you can actually run up the wall. You can't run all the way up the wall because the bottom of the platforms are kind of... You can't go through the bottom of the platforms on certain areas, so... It's just a nice little thing, goes to show how good the physics are. Also, that's a cloud of ice, don't touch that. Because if you run into an ice cloud when it's getting shot by a turret, what will happen is you'll get frozen in a block of ice. Duh, really? And when you get frozen in this block of ice, you won't be able to move. You slide across the floor for a few seconds, and then after a few seconds, the ice will wear off and you lose all your rings, or die, depending if you have rings. And it can be quite agitating to deal with, especially if you have like a bottomless pit nearby. I don't think you need to worry too much about there being a bottomless pit though, so there's that. But yeah, like I said, keep hitting the switches, go through these dark sections, very easy to really maneuver. And you can also make use of the anti-gravity caterpillars if you so please. But yeah, this is the example of the ice. I don't know why I jumped into it. God knows why. Hey, nice moonwalk. That's how things go, you see. You gotta moonwalk and get your way, and I keep getting interrupted. This is the 5th. Hey, she's not calling me this time, so there we go. Yeah, 5th time recording this part, you won't believe it. So yeah, Titanic Tower Act 3. Now this one's mainly just nothing but vertical climbing. You do go inside and outside this building quite a lot, so the scenery does change quite often. And again, as I said before, I love it when games do that sort of like dynamic scenery changing. But overall, stage, it flows really well. It's a nice, really simple stage. Although one complaint I have is when you get iced by the ice blast. If you have a shield, you can't really tell you've got attacked by the ice blast, so you'll probably think if you have a shield on, your controls just glitched. It didn't glitch, don't worry, it's just the way it seems. That's me mistiming the jump horribly there. So yeah, these fire platforms will turn on and off periodically, so just watch out for them and be careful. Now, by here, the caterpillars have become a bit of an obstacle, because as you can tell, there's spikes coming from the bottom of the platforms at the very top. You need a platform across these without touching the spikes, and it's really easier said than done, because your momentum in this, if you play it like I do, you tend to go a bit nuts with running it too fast. So really, this segment, you want to take slow. You don't want to go fast at all. If you do, good luck. Good luck. I hate those gear Baaniks as well. I hate Baaniks that go invincible, and this game's full of them. It's very annoying. But the level design as a whole, very simple. Just follow the signs. If you follow the signs, you can't really go wrong, can you? Now, by here, whenever you get to these arrow little... I don't know how to explain them. There's two little segments in the wall. One segment will basically stop you from moving and send you downwards. And it's the segment with the flashing red lights. And then the other segments are these little, like... You see me, whenever I run into one of them, I'd spin and then land normally. You need to make use of these to actually progress that little tower segment. It's not difficult, but I can see people having issues because they will be wondering, why can't I do it? Now those Baaniks as well. They're basically suicide bomb Baaniks, and if you touch them, no matter what, they will hurt you. So do your best to dodge them. And hey, extra life. Now you might be confused. How did it? Why? What? Because that wall is actually a wall you can go through. How are you meant to figure that out? I don't know. I don't know how I figured it out. I think I was just running blindly and hope to God I was gonna go in the right way. Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, hey, I made it! Yay! But I digress. And this is where the ice things can really mess you up, because not only do you get hurt, you'll be flung off the platform as well if you run into the ice, and it's very, very annoying, those ice clouds. I can't stress enough how much of a pain they can be, so just time your jump. For some reason they wouldn't go off here at all, so I think that they only really go off once and that's it, but don't quote me on that. I don't like to stick around to see how those ice things work, because you never know, no one might, like, I'll shoot a laser beam at me or something. It's happened before in a game, trust me. And I don't understand what's causing this. I'm pretty sure this is a glitch where the camera goes upwards, but I don't know. I really don't know. But with that, we only got one extra life in that special stage, sadly. Can't complain too much, an extra life is an extra life, but you know. Now, any fans of Egg Emperor will love this boss, because this boss is basically Egg Emperor 2D. Now, he has two things. First things first, he's got this little spear, this lance, that you need to jump on. If you jump on the lance, then you can have the opportunity to jump on his cockpit. And periodically, he'll also shoot a laser blast. If you jump as he's shooting up the lance, you'll know he's going to, because the lance and laser cannon will actually flash before he fires them. But if you jump into the lance as it's about to go up, you get stunned slightly, but you'll also instantly land on the lance, so you can just quite easily get a few hits in. This boss isn't too tricky. Once you beat the first phase, he goes into a second phase, which means if you touch the wrong part of him, you'll get hurt. But that's all the difference is with the second and first phase, and he hovers up and down, so it's a little bit harder to get on top of his lance to hurt him. Overall, the boss fight is fairly simple. I can't see anyone having too big an issue with it. And I don't know how I hit him there. I managed to hit him without actually jumping on the lance. So I've only ever really pulled that off once or twice. I think you just need to be lucky for that to happen. Like there, I got lucky. I wasn't even jumping. The lance decided to go, I want you to help. I want you to attack me, Sonic, because why not? Gotta get this game over and done with, see? But yeah, boss fight, there's nothing more unique about this now. He's gonna continue shooting the laser cannon blast, just as long as you're not on the ground whenever it lands, you're fine. Eggman goes down quite easily. Pretty simple boss, if I do say so myself. Although I do like the nice little attention to detail as well. When you destroy some of the bosses, you see cracks in their armor. I like that. It's little details. This is it, folks. Tails now learns how to run like he does in Sonic 2. And listen to this music for a sec. That's right. I Wanna Fly High from Sonic Adventure is the theme song for this level, and trust me, it's brilliantly orchestrated. And this is where the game's really gonna get epic. Now, this is pretty much Tails' last major level as you play as him fully. But trust me, it's absolutely amazing. It's very tranquil, very calming, and the music is beautiful, it's stunning. And of course, now we got the new running animation from Sonic 2, because Tails learnt, hey, that's a good way to run, it's faster. Let's go with that. But yeah, the stage is filled with a lot of bouncy springs, a lot of clouds, and the level design on the stage I'm not too fond of, I'll be honest. I love how epic everything is, but because of the way the artwork looks on the clouds, I tend to have a bit of issues trying to figure out. I can't tell sometimes if something's a ramp or if something's like something you're meant to jump up. Like that was a ramp there, but I flew up because I was like, it looks like I can't really make it up there. I think that's just the way the clouds are the way the clouds look though, because it is kind of hard to make clouds work in this sort of level design. It's probably why Sky Sanctuary Zone was mostly blocks floating in sky, but I digress. You also got these springy pads as well. The closer you are to the springy pads when you jump, the higher you'll fly. The higher you get, you know, everyone wants to fly high, so they could be the highest. But references. You also got these giant plungers as well. I don't understand plungers, why? But jump on the switch on the plunger and you'll maneuver across the other end of an area. You got a lot of enemies as well making returns from Sky Chase Zone from Sonic 2. Like, they're basically, I assume, Eggman's flying squadron? I don't know. But overall, very simple, lots of ramps, very easy level to get through. Although you may have a couple of issues in the second and third acts, because the second and third acts become a bit more difficult. So just take your time and don't rush. That's all I can say. Just enjoy the music. Because, like I said, this is where the game goes nuts. This is where everything really starts. This is where everything starts to come together and end up. Because now, this is it. We're on our way, we're catching up to the Death Egg. We've got to finish things off. Unfortunately, we lost Sonic for the time being because he's currently on the actual way up to the Death Egg, but fortunately it doesn't matter too much because we can catch up to quite fly. Quite fly? We can catch up quite fine. We can fly, for God's sake, with tails. Best two-tailed fox around. Probably the only one, because... Was it ever explained why he has two tails, apart from the fact it's to make him fly? I don't think there's any reason why he has it, it's just... I don't know. But anyway, as time goes on, you'll see a lot more mechanical things as well, because they seem to be flying around with the Death Egg launcher. So, the level will become more mechanical as time goes on. So don't worry, you won't be seeing just clouds. There'll be clouds and mechanical, like, floating platforms that look almost identical to the platforms in Sky Sanctuary. So there's that. Anyway, Act 2, and the music again is glorious. This is some Mario Galaxy styled music. It's fantastic. But pretty similar things to the first act. Nothing new is really introduced here. Apart from these fans, now we've got switches that have fans. Whenever you push the switch, the fan will activate and it'll blow some clouds out of the way, allowing you to progress further. And that's pretty much the only real thing that's been added in this act. It's nothing much. Those little bat sort of bandits as well, they slowly fly upwards. And if you attack them from the top, they will hurt you. You need to hit them from underneath, otherwise there goes your health. But overall, there's nothing much to say. If you're underneath the bat bandits as well, they will slowly go downwards, so they tend to fly up or down depending on where you are in correlation to them. Fortunately, they're slow. I won't worry too much. I do love how you also go in and out of the rain clouds, and it's all epic. I love it. It's just really, really good production value for a game with no budget, and it's made by a fan, I have to say. But yeah, watch. Sometimes you see little clouds that stick out in the environment as well. Watch out for clouds that stick out, because sometimes bandits will pop out and shoot pot shots at you. And whenever you see them, they can be a bit of a pain, but also you can use them to your advantage. Whenever you see a certain cloud, like that one where I saw the bandit, if you're good enough, you can actually bounce off the bandit in the clouds and give yourself a little bit more distance to fly across. So there's that. Just take your time, chill out, relax. And yeah. Also, one thing I haven't mentioned yet in any of the Sonic games which I've meant to. The Red Springs, actually, this counts for all Sonic games as well. Red Springs actually give you a further distance than Yellow Springs. Unless one or two games where they got reversed for whatever reason, but if you see a Red Spring, you're gonna shoot a lot faster and a lot higher than when you go into... Did I say yellow or red then? Basically, Red Spring equals high fast, Yellow Spring equals slow and low. Yeah, that rhymed. But like I said, we're now getting into the more mechanical area of it, and when we actually reach the next act, the mechanical areas will also serve as a bit of an obstacle, because we're gonna get little mechanical areas where we're gonna get shot fire at if we stand on for too long. But anyway, there's Act 2. Notice how the special ring appeared a lot sooner in this act. Well, that's because we're now heading into the transitional areas. We're reaching the end of the game. I have to say, the special stage as well is very annoying. There's so many of these clouds that you need to bounce off. They spin me out. I can't stand these clouds. So I've shown off a bit more of the special stage than normal for this, just to show off how annoying these clouds can get. But this special stage complete, we got an extra life. Fantastic. This music is phenomenal. Oh my god. Anybody who loves Sonic 3 and Knuckles will love this track so much. It's one of the best orchestrated versions of Sky Sanctuary I've ever heard. But yeah, this is where the stage becomes real Sky Sanctuary-like, and this is where the game starts to go into its whole end game sort of transition. So yeah, the red platforms, if you stand on the red platforms for too long, they will burst out in fire and they will hurt. You don't want to touch these red platforms for too long. If you jump on one of them, jump off straight away. But everything else is very samey, very safe. Don't have to worry too much, the stage is calm. And we're just chasing the egg, Death Egg, which is right there in the background. I find it quite interesting as well that they made it so the Death Egg's attached to this little, this like rocket ship to get it up into space. I thought it was quite different because in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, they weren't really attached to a rocket ship from what I remember. It's kind of just rockets on the very bottom of the egg itself. So, but hey, this is Sonic 3 and Knuckles version is probably much more well designed. It is the second Death Egg after all. How many of these things has Eggman built now? I think he's made about 4 Death Eggs in total. Jesus. And every one of them just as epic as the last. Except the one in Sonic the Fighters, that one was a bit ridiculous. It had all these unnecessary balls on the edge of it. It was really... what was the point? But I digress. The music gets a lot more foreboding as well. A very fantastic stage. Not much of a difficulty increase though. The difficulty is pretty much the same as in the previous level. But of course this is where the game's getting a bit harder, so you may have issues here and there. Just do your best. Also, some of the clouds you'll be able to bounce off Sonic 3 and Knuckles style as well. And you'll be able to bounce off these types of clouds twice before they'll completely disappear. So, watch out for them. If you bounce off a cloud, don't bounce on it don't try and bounce on it a third time, because you won't be able to. You'll fall straight through. But with that, that's pretty much it. This is all there is to this level. Moving our way up. Oh, the music's beautiful. So beautiful. Anyway, I'm just going to be quiet now because you're about to see the most epic cutscene in the entire game. Well, or is that... No, that's after the boss fight. Now we're taking the ball on the boss. I'm getting my segments of the video mixed up. So yeah, this boss fight's kind of similar to bosses you'll find... well, the Marble Zone boss from Sonic 3. Because now we have to fly on this Hedgehog and take on one of Eggman's battleships. And this is pretty interesting. It controls pretty much identical to the Marble Zone boss in Sonic 3. Which, for those of you who don't know, what you need to do is basically you use a D-pad or analog stick or whatever you're using to fly above him. Then just push the jump button and you'll jump off the ship and hit the main boss. And just rinse and repeat this. He's going to keep throwing a massive barrage of missiles at you while he's doing this. So it's very easy to get hurt. And don't try and fly into him because you can't hurt him while you're flying. You might be able to hurt him if you fly underneath him, because I know in some of the other Sonic games the Tails is copter Tails when he's in his flying form. Sometimes can hurt bosses and enemies, but I don't think that's the case here, so just keep flying above him and booping him on the head. And don't hit the exhaust, obviously. Because that's painful. But yeah, I don't know why. It does seem to get a bit harder to hit him as time goes on. I think the controls get a bit more whacked out as you're flying and trying to take this boss on. But with that, this is basically it. So I'm gonna be quiet now and leave you guys with the best cutscene in the game. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, appreciate a like or comment to the video. Don't be sheepish, people. I'll catch you all next time in the final part. Thanks for watching. See you then.